Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech. Today, we're going to unpack the massive paradox at the very heart of the artificial intelligence boom. It's a wild story of mind-boggling investment clashing with a very, very sobering reality. So on one hand, you've got this absolute frenzy of investment, a real technological gold rush where everyone is betting the farm on AI. But on the flip side, there's a stark reality check causing some major anxiety, with a report claiming that for most companies, this gold rush has produced, well, no gold at all. And get this, there's one single statistic from a recent MIT report that's sending some serious shockwaves through the tech world. 95% of the work companies have done to integrate AI hasn't returned any money or productivity. That raises the huge central question, is this whole AI boom just a giant bubble? All right, let's get into it. Okay, so to really understand this paradox, you first have to wrap your head around the sheer scale of the investment. We are not talking about small bets here. We are talking about spending on the level of a small country. We're talking hundreds of billions of dollars. I mean, just to put that in perspective, Meta alone has pledged that much for infrastructure. They're even offering compensation packages that can get close to $1 billion for a single top researcher. It's an absolutely wild, all-in bet on achieving superintelligence. And then, of course, you've got Google. Their whole strategy is Gemini everywhere. And they're not just sticking a chatbot on a website. No, they are weaving it into every single piece of hardware you touch. Your phone, your watch, your car, your TV, and even the smart glasses they have coming in 2026. The whole idea is to make AI this indispensable assistant in every part of your daily life.
You know, this whole gold rush has created this really fascinating and kind of brutal split in the venture capital world. It's like a tale of two markets. You've got the AI native darlings, companies like OpenAI, just raising insane amounts of cash practically every month. And then you have pretty much everyone else, companies that were born before all the chatbot hype. And a lot of them, well, they're struggling, forced to raise money at lower valuations, or worse, they're becoming what VCs are calling zombie unicorns, just kind of fading away.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. All of this insane, unprecedented spending, it's now slamming into a brick wall of investor skepticism. The market is starting to get really, really nervous, and honestly, for good reason. We're starting to see what some analysts are calling valuation anxiety. You look at a stock like Palantir, and at one point it was trading at 180 times future profits. I mean, that's dot-com bubble territory. So when even a little bit of fear creeps into the market, these are the first stocks to get hammered, and it's causing a pretty big tech sell-off. And the biggest casualties in all this, these so-called zombie unicorns. Just imagine this for a second. You raised a fortune back in 2021 when money was basically free, you're valued at over $1 billion, but now you've got no clear path for it. Investors have moved on, they're laser-focused on that tiny handful of AI winners, leaving these other companies in this weird, precarious limbo. So it all boils down to this, right? The crucial question of ROI, return on investment. Investors are they're done with the hype. They are demanding to see a return. You can hire the smartest people in the world, give them the biggest budgets imaginable, but if you can't build a product that actually makes money or boost productivity, what do you really have? And that MIT report, well, it suggests that's the reality for almost everybody. Which, of course, raises the billion-dollar question, or maybe the trillion-dollar question. If 95% of companies are failing to get a return, what in the world are the other 5% doing right? Well, it turns out there is a blueprint for success, and it looks a whole lot different from the spend-at-all-costs approach. Let's take a look at Bank of America. This is a perfect case study. Their AI journey didn't just start last year with all the generative AI hype. Nope. They've been playing the long game for nearly a decade. They started way back, like 7 or 8 years ago, with fraud detection models. Then, about 5 years ago, they launched their AI assistant, Erica. It's only now that they're layering in the latest generative AI for their clients and employees. See? It's a slow, methodical build. And what's the result of that long, patient strategy? How about a staggering 3 billion client interactions handled by their AI assistant, Erica? And that's not some future projection. That's real, tangible ROI happening right now. And that number, it's growing exponentially. And this really gets to the heart of their philosophy. As their tech chief puts it, the goal isn't just about cutting costs, it's about augmenting their people. Think about it. A junior banker who used to burn days, literally days, prepping a file for a client can now use generative AI to get a first draft in minutes. That frees them up to do the important stuff, the innovative work. Okay, so that's one blueprint. Here's another one that's working. It's something called vertical AI.
So instead of trying to build one single massive AI that does everything for everyone, these companies are getting super targeted.
A great example is a company called Elise AI. What they do is they find industries with really obvious, painful inefficiencies, think housing, healthcare, and they build AI that solves very specific problems. For instance, they're using conversational AI to automate tasks for 1 out of every 8 apartments in the US. By making those operations run smoother, they cut costs for the owners, and hey, maybe that even trickles down to renters. It's about delivering real-world impact, not just chasing cool tech.
So, what does all this mean? What's the big takeaway if you're trying to figure out the future of AI? Well, it really seems to boil down to 2 words: perspective and patience.
You know, as some analysts are saying, expecting a huge immediate return on a technology this new and transformative is it's not realistic. You have to have a lot of failures before you can get to the wins. This whole thing is an incubation period. Those early failures, they aren't just bumps in the road. They're actually a necessary part of the process to get to the big wins later on.
So at the end of the day, the real race here isn't about who can burn through the most cash the fastest. It's about who has the patience and the strategic vision to weave AI into their business in a meaningful way. It's about finding real problems and using this incredible technology to solve them, one step at a time. That's how you turn all this hype into real, long-term value. The question isn't if AI will change the world, it's who has the right blueprint to actually win. If you enjoyed the episode, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.